Hello everybody and welcome back once again to Total War Attila. Yes, it's been over a month since the last session, but we are finally back once again with the Saxons, ready to conquer, ready to expand, ready to be victorious. At least that's what I hope. Since the last session, there's been a patch released and also a DLC, Blood and something. Blood and Burning, is it? Blood and Gore, Blood and Guts, Bloody Hellfire, I don't know. Some sort of blood pack, anyway. So I've downloaded that in the meantime. So that's a little bit of extra spice to the campaign. And also the workshop is up and running. So there's a few mods here and there that I've been looking at. But I don't intend to install any mods for the time being, at least. Okay, so since the last session, it's been over a month, as I said. I had to look back over the past couple of videos to refresh my memory about what happened. And, well, the main crux of the last session was the eradication of Gaul here, after a little bit of political manoeuvring by Senrad, which netted him a promotion to elder status. He then, as an elder, moved his army up to Lindum, which was desolate, and he's now resettling, which is what we're doing here. And that was pretty much it. As we continue on to consolidate our homelands here in a preparation for an attack on the rest of the British Isles. So the aim of this session is to continue to consolidate, to continue to build up Lindum with farms, with perhaps some kind of another building here, to increase our income, to ultimately allow us to recruit a third army, which will then be used in conjunction with the others to hopefully wage a political campaign on the Celtic tribes. Speaking of which, the British, the Caledonians and the Picts all have a variety of different alliances intertwined with one another, and therefore the Abdanians, who do not, are the prime candidates for our initial attack. Yes, they are probably the strongest, slightly, of the other factions, but due to the fact that they don't have any official alliances with the others, might buy us a little bit of extra time and prevent us from dragging anybody else into our early wars with these guys. So when we do finally decide, if the political situation remains as it is for the next few turns, of course, these guys will be our first targets. Also, Sagontium is pretty lightly defended, i.e. undefended. Our spy is going to come down to Eblana here, just to see what's going on over there. But if we do get our armies up and running, a quick swift attack on these two lands and a quick couple of conquerings here, and we might just be bright and rosy. But we're going to just wait for that. Okay, so the family tree. Everything seems to be running well so far, touch wood. We've got Horsa, who is the governor of Britannia Inferior. Of course, the High King is still governor of Britannia Superior, preparing himself for a campaign, of course. Senrad, the hero of the campaign, I think, the underdog. He is just positioning himself politically for potential overthrowing of Attila when he comes into power. And then, of course, they have their children as well. So we'll see how the story develops between the various characters as we play on from this point forward. Okay, so I think as we left the last session, everything was pretty much sorted. So all we need to do is end the turn and see what delights wait for us today. I'll put my phone on mute today, for a change. Okay. So yeah, kind of weird to be back here after a month. Back into the swing. Well, not quite into the swing just yet, but I'm sure we'll get there. I also noticed that some of the colours of the badges have changed, the clan emblems, slightly. I think patch 2 brought a few balancing bits and bobs here and there, a couple of diplomacy tweaks and changes and things like that. So we'll see how that plays out in this particular campaign. Anyway, we have a noble birth, God Gifu. Senrad. Senrad's got another child. Wow. Let's just take a quick peeky here. It's a son there. Where are we? Bloody hell. Bastard children down here. Legitimate children down here. It's a daughter. Very good. Right, okay. Senrad. Very busy man, as you can see. Look at that. 6 kids. Very busy indeed. What else do we have here? The Torp is being constructed in Lindum. And we have a hidden agent. This British agent here, this British spy who could cause us some concern. Just got to be very careful. Don't want him causing havoc down here. Right. So the mountain men, the Caledonian army, they have moved off the mainland. They seem to be going down south. They do have, of course, Colonia Agrippina down here. The Franks mustering at Rotamagus, their newly conquered land. And the Abdanians, here we go, look at that. The Abdanians, quite a force. The Wandering Warriors. So they do have a little bit of military might. As I said, they are probably the strongest Celtic tribe. And look at that. That was about there. It's shooting up every turn. We've just got to be careful here. Just got to be careful. We don't let them get too powerful. The roving hunters, the picked army, they seem to be trying to land on the shores of modern-day Spain. Looks like they're trying to give some more grief to the Western Romans. Of course, the Picts also have Narbo down here, so they are spreading their wings quite far and wide. Quite far and wide. Which is actually quite a good thing for us if we want to conquer the British Isles, because they might be turning their attentions down south and thus pulling their troops away from their northern reaches, which would make them ripe for the picking. All we have to be careful about is a potential backlash if we do start a war against them. But we'll sort that when it happens. I think the initial taking of these lands is the most important thing for us. Holding on to them after that, secondary. Right, let's have a look. So we know that this is undefended. Let's go sailing over here with a spy to Eblana. Let's just take a quick look and see what we can see. Is it undefended? Yes, it is. Marvellous, excellent, joyful news indeed. So Eblana and Sagontium, both undefended, which means, as I said, if we can get that another army recruited, we get maybe them both across, one to Sagontium, one to Eblana, take them down at the same time in almost like a blitzkrieg fashion, that would really seriously cripple the Abdanians, thus reducing them to one land. They've got a bit of a force down here, but they have to get that force up. And if we have a patrolling fleet, their little transports, for instance, might struggle. Anyway, I'm getting a little bit far ahead of myself. But it's worth keeping an eye on potential future plans, isn't it? Anyway, Lindum. We now have the Torp constructed. We can increase it to a village, which we will do in good time. First of all, though, I want to... what's this? A ruined building. Right. We have to dismantle it first. Okay. So we have to dismantle it first and then build it up. Right. New to me. I've never dealt with ruined buildings before. So should we save our money for that, or should we perhaps purchase something else down here? Now, we were looking at trying to convert the Torp here and also get that into a small city. Wondering. Quite costly. 5,400 for that. 4,600 I think was for that. It's a little bit costly. Also, what I want to do down here is I want to construct an artisan and turn it into a smithy, because with the recent patch, the last patch, I think was patch number 2, when you recruit the smithy, you now can unlock the recruitment of Nordic Axe Warband, which were in the original game level 3. So this is a little bit easier for us to get those axe warbands, which are pretty decent melee troops when compared with our brigade. So I want a smithy down here as quick as we can as well. So it's just got a few buildings to try and throw up as quick as we can, whilst we juggle our treasury. All the while, we're going to continue to try
there is food enough for 2 armies away.
And get some extra trade agreements with people that might not be massively happy with us, but something neutral.
Heavens, spare my R's.
No one is interested though. The British?
We are, as always, a welcoming host.
The frustrating thing is the British are you know, weak when compared to us, and their land is right there, ready to be taken. Ready to be swiped from beneath their feet. But to do that would be catastrophic if we're not prepared for the backlash with their allies. Ugh, so frustrating. So frustrating. Right, let's have a quick peeky here at the known factions tab. The Pits. Red Face, although it is improving slightly. I think in the patch number 2 they also nerfed the diplomatic penalty that you get for the great power. So that should assist our relations with some of these tribes. We are deteriorating with the Caledones, improving very slightly with the Picts, improving a little bit with the British, and staying friendly with the Ebdanians. Kind of a shame that we're going to turn our backs on them, isn't it? We're improving. We're improving with the Franks actually, quite considerably, which is a nice thing. We could maybe get some trade with them after a couple more turns. Let's just keep plugging away. Just keep plugging away with our diplomacy here.
And better ale and meat.
Because I don't want them to be opportunistic and launch an attack on me should I turn my attention north in Britain. So if we can get a non-aggression and some trade with the Franks in a couple of turns' time, that would be pretty handy. Right. So it's going to be a series of end turns, I think, for the next few minutes, maybe next 2 sessions, to be honest with you, as we try and get ourselves ready. Some buildings to build and bits and bats to sort out before we recruit this 3rd army. But we'll get there. Okay, so peace negotiated with the Afrigids and the Western Romans. Agent exposed. Oh, the Ebdanians are at war with the Septimania. And we have researched something. This is good for us because the Ebdanians are at war now, down here in Gaul, which will keep them busy. Septimania are here. Septimania is a very strange faction name. I think they just have the one land. Do we know who they are? We can't see them, I don't think. Or can we? The Gauls? No. But, yeah. It just diverts their attention a little bit. It's good for us. It's good for us. It's very good. Very good, very good, very good indeed. Okay. Lindum. We can now construct the farmstead, which we will then upgrade to pastures so that we can recruit some horses for our armies. We don't have the capacity to recruit our own horses at the moment. So this is the path that we're going to take. So start with the farmstead, a couple of turns, and then upgrade to the... you need 4 population surplus to demolish that. Right, okay, we're not too far off that actually. Let's Speaking of population surplus, we can now upgrade that, which we will do. And I want to put an artisan here because I do want that smithy so that we can have the axe warband. So the third army that we recruit, in the not too distant future to be fair, we're going to have some axe warband in there, we're going to have some horses in there. This third army will be the king's army, Gewit's own army. It will be the strongest army of the three. And it's going to be kind of fun watching it rain destruction upon our enemies. Okay. Technology. We are going for bailiffs. Can we get there next turn? Yes, it's going to cost us some money. Gives us extra growth. And enables us to construct level 3 city and towns. The main reason why I want to get this out of the way, whilst we have a bit of coin to spare, is we do have a goal to research that technology, which will reward us with 1,000 talents at the end of the chapter, at the Spring 420, which is a bit of a ways away. We don't have to rush this, actually. If we're probably focusing our efforts on saving some money for our armies and stuff, maybe we can just hold off on that, because we don't really need level 3 buildings just yet. We're not quite there. Wealth from industrial buildings, that'll be quite handy. Wealth from cultural buildings, maybe not so handy. We'll go for that one. 6 turns, okay. Change of plan. Change of plan. I'm trying to save some coin here. All the while, in Britannia Superior, our religion is on the increase, and the more that it increases, the cheaper these conversions will be. I think we are slowing down now a little bit, though. I think we're reaching a plateau with the religion situation. So it's just this one that has been affected. This is costing us 10 food. I wonder if we should just do this now. Get it out of the way. It does upgrade the roads as well. Provides us with a nice garrison. 8 turns. Yeah. You know what? Let's do it. Let's just do it. Come on. Let's not dither about it. Let's just get it done. Get it out of the way. An extra 10 food. That's good stuff. Okay. Just going to have this by land, just to make sure that there's no armies that we can't see on modern day Ireland, and there isn't. So that's good. Just keeping an eye. Might have him go back and patrol north again, do another circuit. Just constantly keep feeding those reports back to the king regarding the situation in terms of the military presence of our neighbours, so we can ascertain when it is the perfect time to strike. Okay, so we'll just keep checking diplomacy every turn. The Franks were now 17, 24, improving.
Welcome. We will talk and then we will...
Ooh, it was low before, now it's moderate. Trade's moderate. Ooh, maybe a couple more turns and we're going to get there, you know. A couple more turns and they'll be... they'll bend to our constant negotiations or give in. The High King's envoys, relentless in their pursuit of trade agreements. You will bend. Your will bend to our persistence. Okay. It's just... nothing else really to report. Let's just keep the time ticking over. The Franks. Our good friends. Once we were enemies, now we will soon be trade partners. That's what we're hoping anyway. We don't want them sticking their beaks into our affairs when we are at our most vulnerable. And we will be our most vulnerable when we move our armies north, away from our Britannia Superior shores. So, yeah. If we can negotiate a non-aggression pact and a trade agreement with them before we go to war with the British tribes, that would be absolutely marvellous. And even better would be if we could somehow wangle a defensive alliance. Now that would be something else. That would be something else indeed, if we could get some form of alliance with the Franks. Come on, let's just... how are we doing? How are we doing? Now it's at 23 and it's sort of plateaued out now. It's not increasing, it's not decreasing. So let's go for it. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed.
The guards will have me listen
Trade
to
agreement.
you, but do not part.
We might have to pass some coin their way. I don't usually like to do this, but it might be beneficial in the long run if we do. Let's see if we can offer 300 coins. We'll make that up in a couple of turns worth of trade. If we do get trade with him. No, not interested. Oh, shoot in hell. Come on, you know you want to. You know you want it. Do not deny my envoys, they are persistent. Okay, so 580. Trade agreement and a non-aggression pact. No. They're a green face, man. They're green face. Why are you denying me? Why? Do not deny me.
Greetings. Now speak plainly, for we are an honest folk and value honesty in others.
How much is it going to cost us? I really don't want to go too high. I mean, I'm not that desperate. It would be convenient, yes, but I'm not... Okay, this is the last offer. 860. This is probably the most we've offered to any other faction for some time, but they do have 4 lands. They are fairly close to our borders. I think it's worth it. I do think it's worth it. No, they're not interested. Okay, we tried, and God loves a trier. So there you go. Disappointing. I was hoping we could do something there. It really was. Okay, one more turn for the artisan, one more turn for the horses, for the farmstead, sorry. Then we will upgrade both of those next turn, so we need to have some coin spare. Alright. What's happening down here? The Britannians mustering their troops for a potential war with Septimania. What a very bizarre name. Their strength ranking is 34. Oh, sorry. Yeah, they've weakened a little bit, actually. I thought they got stronger, but I was reading it incorrectly. The bar going this way means I'm getting more stronger than them, so they have weakened a little bit, which is actually great news for us. Absolutely great news. You know, I think the time is perfect for us to launch this attack. They are a little bit weaker than they were when we started the session. Their troop numbers are all concentrated down here. They have just entered a war with Septimania, which might keep them a little bit busy. Our relations have increased with the Franks, and their homelands are completely and utterly naked, vulnerable to attack. I mean, this is the perfect opportunity. The quicker we get these things built, the better. I think it's about 4 turns. How many turns for this? 3 turns for the pastures and 1 turn for that. So that's 4 turns. 1 turn for that, and then 3 turns for the smithy. So in 4 turns' time, we'll have the smithy, we'll have the pastures, and we will be ready to recruit that 3rd army. The army will probably take about 3 turns to recruit, so I reckon total 8 turns? 8 to 10 turns, and we'll be ready to launch this attack. Ooh, I'm getting a little bit excited. I'm getting a little bit excited, I have to say. This is going to be our largest attack of the game to date. And it could be well, it's literally a pivotal point in the campaign, because from this point forward we'll be at war with the Abdarians, yes, but it could also lead to future conflict with the other Celtic tribes. This is where we reach the second stage of the campaign. The first stage from the beginning of the campaign up until now has mainly been us picking off a few bits of lands here and there, consolidating the lands that we have taken and building ourselves up for our future. I think as soon as we launch the attack on the Abdanians, we are reaching the second stage of the campaign, which is our expansion into Britannia itself. We've got a illegitimate birth here, and it's come from Attila. He's had 2 illegitimate children. I mean, this is further fuel to the fire. I remember speaking about in the last session, a month and a bit ago, that Senrad really does not like Attila. He respects the High King and would never do anything to try to overthrow the High King. A, because the High King has such high influence that he doesn't think it'll happen, but also because he respects the fact that he allowed him to marry his daughter and bring him into the fold. But this upstart here, who can't even father legitimate children, who has not seen battle in his life, is a nobody. This is really, really extra fuel to that fire. That Attila is not worthy of taking Guis's place upon the Saxon throne. We'll just have to see what happens, won't we? Okay, so here we go. Lindum. Let's get those pastures ready so that we can recruit those horses. In Britannia Superior, let's get this smithy ready so that we can recruit those Nordic Axe warbands. Okay, lovely. We've got this turning into a torp. Taking a little bit of time. Our income is almost at the 2,000 mark, so that's quite nice to see. That will definitely shoot down when we recruit that third army. Senrad's army here is fully replenished now, the braided bolt. Okay, so it's just a waiting game. That's literally all it is. It's just a waiting game. And I'm getting impatient, I'm telling you. But should I be impatient? Could we afford to take the braided bolt across now to take Sagontium? Can we afford to? I suppose we can afford to wait. I mean, look at this. The Abdanians have moved some of their troops somewhere. Let's just take a quick look at the diplomacy again. Just see where they are in terms of strength. Have they lost? No, they've gained a little bit. Not too shabby. The Franks have decreased. Now we're deteriorating again. Flaming hell, it swings and roundabouts.
Satan, let your words move me.
I wonder if we'll go for non-aggression on its own first of all, without anything else. If we offer some more coin. 400, 500, 600. We're going up in hundreds now. That's a bit more reasonable. Let's see, 500 for a non-aggression pact. God, good God, they're mightily unreasonable. I mean, trade between our people, very prosperous. And yet we have encountered Hispania. Wait a second. Where are they? There they are, red face. We can't trade with them. Great. A Vandal. Let's just take a quick look here.
Come. Let me hear your talk.
Nope.
I warn you.
Okay. The Franks are back on green face again.
We will gladly listen to your offers, but do not wrap them in lies. The spirits know truth.
Just trade without the non-aggression then? No. Swings and bloody roundabouts, isn't it? Okay, well, we'll keep trying. There is a suggestion that's been made, which is a reasonable suggestion, I think, as well, that we can recruit a ship and start to sail that ship like I did in previous Total War games, round and trying to uncover more factions that will allow us, hopefully, to possibly trade with further factions, thus increasing our income slightly. And that is a possibility. I'm not going to do it just yet because it is expensive to recruit even a single Even a single general, I think, a single admiral is quite expensive in terms of upkeep, so not going to pay that just yet until we have got this situation sorted closer to home. So back and forth the Franks do sail. As long as that's all you're doing, my friends, don't get any funny ideas into your heads. Maybe that's why they don't want to trade with me or go for a non-aggression pact, because they secretly have desires to take my lands. Well, I'll have something to say about that, my friends. The Picts have declared war with the Gauls, which is a nothing war. The Gauls are a pathetic, weak faction. We have a good winter, which allows us extra sanitation and extra wealth from industrial buildings, which is not bad, I suppose. Okay, so yeah, we're just waiting for the building here. We can actually now we've got a +4 population growth here, so we can, if we so desire to do so, we can demolish this ruined building and construct another building here. But I'm wondering if we should save our population growth, because if we do capture Aboracum, wow. Not Aboracum, sorry, Sagontium. Oh no, that's quite developed already. I was going to say we could save our growth to expand our potential future holdings, but that's already maximum, so there's no need for us to do that. So we can actually do that now. So demolish that, and then we can throw something up there in the next turn. I don't know what we're going to put there, but, well, something ultimately that will raise our coffers is always a good start. Okay. Let's have a look. I think it's about time High King Gewis attempted to embezzle funds again. It's been a little while since he tried it, so a bit of embezzling here. Let's have a look at Senred. I mean, he's quite happy with his lot in life. He's commanding the troops. He's overseeing Britannia Inferior together with Horsa, who is the official governor. Anything that he wants to do? I mean, he could actually try to diminish the popularity of Essler. We know that behind the scenes he's spreading these malicious lies about Essler. Well, not malicious, not lies actually. He's just highlighting the truth about how he is the more suitable candidate to be heir. Does he make that vocal though? I think it's a bit dangerous for him to actually make it too vocal just yet, but yeah. Secure loyalty, assassinate, no, we don't want to do anything like that. Gather support. Again, these are sorts of moves that he will probably start to pull when High King Gewis dies and Essler gets to power. These are the sorts of things that he will be doing, looking to gather support for himself and diminish the popularity of the king, trying to overthrow him perhaps. But whilst the King Gewis is in power, he's just going to watch his P's and Q's a little bit. Essler can't do anything. His wife. Okay. So let's have a look at the children then. We've got the daughter of Senred. She is coming of age very shortly. Then we go down, and then the illegitimate children. We've got son 11, daughter 11, son 10. So we've got a few children that will be coming of age soon. So we'll have to see how they pan out into the old political situation. Okay, so Senrad's term in office has come to an end. He is now no longer an elder. The funds have been appropriated by the High King, 438 coin to add to the coffers, always welcome of course. The Gauls have changed their religion to Latin Christian, and of course we have just demolished that ruined building here in Britannia Inferior. So one more turn. The pastures will be built. One more turn. The smithy shall be built. This is looking mighty good here. Looking mighty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to look at the situation here in too much detail. Okay, we'll give it one more turn. End the turn quickly to get those buildings built, and then we'll end the session there, because we will now be in a situation where the commencement of the recruitment of the King's army can begin, which marks the start of the plotting and planning of our campaign into Britannia proper. And that seems like a nice place to leave the session. Don't know how long we've been going. It feels a little bit shorter, maybe about 40 minutes. It's not too bad. Just me dipping my toe back into the waters of Attila. Plus I actually have a sore throat today as well, so I could do with taking a break now. So Wigbert's term in office is also finished. And we have a defamation. An unscrupulous rival has spread foul rumours. Now I always get this the wrong way round. I think Wigbert is trying to spread defamation about Wulfrith. Now who is Wulfrith? Is she my wife? This is the trouble, we can't see who she is. I think she is my wife, if I'm not mistaken, and if he's spreading rumours about my bloody wife, then we better shut him up. And we can ignore him, or we can pay him off. Now, ultimately, I'd like to bloody give him some lashings, you know what I mean? Give him 15 lashings in public. That's not an option, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to shut him up. Is it my wife? No, it's not. Oh, it's Senra's wife. Wonder what she's doing. Maybe he's telling the truth, and it's not defamation. It's simply the fact that he's trying to highlight to the High King that they're plotting and scheming against his son. And rather blindly, he's just tried to shut him up. You know what? I don't believe a thing you're saying, Senra. He's an honourable man. He's done well for this clan, for the Saxon people. He's loyal to a T. 10 out of 10 loyalty. How on earth could he and his wife be plotting and scheming against my son? He wouldn't have the nerve to do so. So shut up and take this money. Maybe she is. 116 bloody influence this woman's got. She's got more influence than the king. Look at this! Holy smoke, she's got more influence than the king. Maybe he better prick his ears up and listen to what Wigbert's saying. This is danger zone here. Oh my goodness me. Did not see this coming. Oh. Well. I'm seeing something happening here. I'm seeing something happening. Oh boy. If he tries to assassinate Essler, it's far too risky. But if his wife tries to assassinate Essler, how risky is it? If it's successful and nobody knows any wiser, he becomes the heir, and his plan bears fruit far sooner than he had anticipated. If she fails and is caught, he can simply cut the ties. I had nothing to do with it. It was my wife's fault. She is obviously a madwoman. And he can wash his hands. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh. Is this going to be successful? Is Senrad's mad, inverted commas, wife, with a large amount of influence, more so than the king himself, gonna have Attila bumped off to put her husband as heir to the throne? We'll have to see if that's successful next session. Oh dear, oh dear. Lewis is now rank 5, and oblivious to the fact that his son's about to... his life's in danger. Let's have a look here. Right, what can we do? Ah! These are local province, not governed province, though. Okay. So, points. Where are we going to put points? Anything that increases authority is good for public order, so... where's that? That's cunning. That's food and ammunition. Melee defense. Battle. He is going to battle very shortly, actually, so it might be worth just starting to go down this line. He's going to be leading the army that goes to war against the Abdanians, so yeah, we'll go for that. Okay. So that's the political situation. Oh, yes, I'm liking this. I'm going to have to see what happens. Okay, so there we go. The king has just batted down Wigboot's warnings, told him to go on his get on your bike, get on your horse, get out of here. Take this coin. Don't you say another bad word about Senrad's wife when he's telling him the truth. She is plotting to kill your son. It's not defamation, it's a fact. And of course, we have now pastures, and we have a smithy, which means that we can now finally commence recruiting the king's army. And when the army is finished, it will head north together, if he's still alive of course, with Attila, father and son together, will march on the Abdanians and commence our campaign to unify Britannia under one banner, the banner of the Saxons. So, before we finish the session then, one last bit of diplomacy. See if we can get a bloody...
The tongue that speaks without wisdom is not...
No! No! Fine, up yours! Your loss, my friends. You'll soon be coming to us for trade when we control the entirety of the British Isles. You'll be clambering over yourselves to trade with us. A mighty power. But for now, they're not bothered. The Abdanians, teetering on the edge here. Teetering on the edge. Little do they know they're about to suffer great tragedy. Okay, so I think we're going to end it there. If you've got any advice, information, tactics, anything at all that will assist me in the campaign that I might have overlooked or I'm not considering, please feel free to leave a comment. Of course, head over to the link in the description on the forums. There is a thread there, the War Council, if you want to leave your suggestions over there if they're quite lengthy, and I will look at them and take them into consideration and incorporate them into the campaign if necessary. Also, if you would like to suggest a name for the King's Army that is about to be recruited, again, feel free, leave a comment here or over in the forums as well. There's also an army suggestion thread where people have already suggested a variety of names. So I'll be looking at those, but I would want something specific for this army. This is a king's own army, so something symbolic, something that means something to the king, and a name that has some sort of resemblance, some sort of meaning for its purpose. Okay, so there we go. Welcome back to Attila. And in the next session, join me if you can to see how the campaign develops against the Abdanians initially, and also to see if Attila survives. Until then, see you soon.